this year, Comic Con was so big that we had to do another segment to talk to some of the other amazing characters walking around, except for this guy right here. I don't think he talks too much. So, Spider-Man, what brings you to Comic Con?
Everything. Well, for Niagara, at least after the show, people have a place to have a bigger time at the attractions at Clifton, and also it's very mobile here, and it's like family reunions.
How popular are the summer camps and programs that involve computers and game design at Brock?
They're very popular. There's a lot of different components with all of the camps. All of our campers get to use the 3D printer that we have from the makerspace here. They go anywhere from grade 1 all the way up to grade 12, and we have opportunities throughout the summer for a bunch of different camps, and take-up has been great, and that's why we wanted to show it off here. There's a bunch of different types of camps that we have at Brock. We have the technological ones. We have just sort of your standard summer camps. We have art camps. Like I said, with the 3D printer, there's the opportunity to get in the makerspace and do some 3D printing. It really runs the gamut for things that are available. Whatever you're interested in, we probably have a camp for it.
The great thing about Comic-Con is that there's a variety of exhibits. We saw an exhibit that has a wide variety of Hollywood horror memorabilia. Let's go talk to the owner right now. After all this walking, I'm getting a little tired. Hope no one minds if I take this bike.
Well, this is a portion of a real museum that we have in Bristol, Connecticut. It's called the Witch's Dungeon Classic Movie Museum, and it all started because of the fact that my great-uncle was an actor in horror films. That was Henry Hull, and that's a figure of Henry as the very first movie werewolf, The Werewolf of London in 1935.
So what other props do you have in here, or figures?
Well, among the props that you see here, we have an original Linda Blair exorcist head that was used when her head spun around. It was created by Dick Smith, and that's an actual one used in the film. We also have a preliminary head of the creature from the Black Lagoon that's very rare from the 1950s. We also have a golden idol, one of the original golden idols from Raiders of the Lost Ark, a headpiece of Kim Hunter as Zira from Planet of the Apes. Plus, we have the only surviving E.T. that was used in the bike riding scene from the film. The main reason for creating the Witch's Dungeon Classic Movie Museum was really more or less to educate upcoming filmmakers as to the pioneers of makeup and effects and the actors and makeup artists that worked on these films to begin with. Now, of course, most of it is done digitally, but there is a resurgence of real effects that's coming back, and I'm very much excited about that. But this gives them a little insight into all the work that was involved, and it is an art form. Makeup and effects are really an art form, and that's the main thrust of the movie museum that we have in Connecticut. My great-uncle died in 1978. He felt that the new films that were coming along, what's commonly called the slasher films, they lacked real character, they lacked story, and some of these films, these characters, it's the makeup is very unique. It's not just blood and gore, it's not just how many victims can you kill off in an hour and a half, whereas there was a pathos with some of these earlier films, especially Phantom of the Opera, House of Wax, The Mummy. A number of these films, there's more involved in the background story of these characters that really intrigues you a lot more than just a serial killer. Because of my great-uncle, Henry Hull, I got to meet Vincent Price, and we remained friends right up until the time he passed away. And Vincent appeared with Henry in the film Master of the World. So he not only did voice tracks for the Witch's Dungeon on opening and closing for us, but he also found the original suit that he wore in House of Wax, and the figure that we have on display here has the original suit that he wore as Professor Jared in House of Wax.
Another great weekend and another incredible event, and I cannot wait to report back here for Frightmare in the Falls coming up in October. Reporting for The Source, I'm Asia Tomori.